Hey guys, Jessie Zahner here with the Night of After show on AfterBuzz TV. Tonight we're breaking down Season 1, Episode 5, and let's get right into it because there is so much to discuss about this episode. First, let's start off with Nas, our main character. Tonight is the first night we are seeing Nas as kind of a bad boy. All of this time we have seen him as a good boy, totally innocent, could never imagine him committing this crime. But now I have to question myself. I mean, he shaved his head and he looks the part of a murderer. But not only that, his behavior has changed. Now he's confrontational, he's aggressive, he's getting in fights, he's smuggling drugs into prison, he's smoking, he's hanging out with the wrong people. So I find myself watching with internal conflict, wondering, could he have really committed this crime? But at the same point, I'm also wondering, is this just somebody who's trying to adapt to prison? Which I totally understand, but here's my thing. If you are trying to adapt to prison, think forward. Think about your future. You have a trial coming up where you are being convicted of murder. If anybody gets word of what you're doing in prison, there's no way a jury's going to hear the stuff that you did in prison and think that you did not murder this girl. So I just want to shake him and wake him up and say, listen, stop what you're doing. So aside from that, HBO dramas are really good at symbolism, and this drama is no different. There are so many symbols in this episode specifically that kind of lay out what's going on. So first, in this episode, we see people of power with grapes, and you might be wondering, what the heck does that mean? And I was thinking the same thing. I sat on my couch and wondering, why is there this emphasis on grapes, and why with these powerful people? So I looked into it, and grapes actually symbolize abundance, charity, and wrath. And we see grapes with both prosecutor Helen Weiss and inmate Freddie. And it's so funny because that is exactly what those characters are going through. So Helen has an abundance of resources at her side. She has all of the evidence. She's doing charity by offering a 15-year prison plea deal with Nas, and then also the wrath of her laying the law down, trying to put him away. And then on the other side in prison, Freddie has an abundance of respect from inmates to guards. He does his own charity where he's helping people in prison, even though that's very ironic because they end up having to give more than they take from him. And then lastly, the wrath. He's a boxer. He's aggressive. We've seen it. So I'm wondering if this is showing us who the powerful people inside and outside of prison are at this moment. At one point, Freddie gives Nas the grapes, and I'm wondering if that is a transition of power. And I'm wondering if this is foreshadowing that Nas is going to get off and maybe he's going to be powerful inside and outside of prison at some point. Aside from that, we see John Stone, the defense lawyer on Nas' side, out and about. He is looking for answers. He wants to know what happened that night because he truly believes Nas is innocent. So he goes out to the laundromat and he finds Trevor, one of the only witnesses that night. And he basically questions Trevor, but while he's there, he's wearing these white gloves and he's so funny with them. And you know, I thought about it for a while, and I'm thinking that the white gloves could symbolize clean hands, like, we're clean. We didn't do this crime. The defense is innocent. And he talks to Trevor, and he gets out of him that this Dwayne Reed was with Trevor that night. So as John is leaving the laundromat, I noticed that there are only a few letters in the word laundromat lit up, and those letters spell out Ladro, which actually means burglar or thief. And we find out that Dwayne has a warrant out for his arrest, and he's been convicted of breaking and entering, burglary, aggravated assault, always with a knife. So at that point, I started asking myself, why doesn't John go to the police? He knows the guy's name, there's a warrant for his arrest, and he knows where he is. So I'm like, John, go to the cops, get him under custody and talk to him and get answers from him. In the meantime, he also should get a statement on record from Trevor. But instead, John goes and he finds Dwayne and basically tells him that he's Trevor's lawyer, therefore ratting out Trevor to Dwayne. So my thing and my fear at this point in the show is that Dwayne is going to go kill Trevor, and then they will have no connection. They will have nobody connecting Dwayne to this murder. And if that's the case, then John could have lost this trial for himself. And he has been made fun of and he's not taken seriously. So I'm wondering if this is a pattern for him. But I guess we won't know until next week because that's where the episode ends. So signing off, guys. I'm Jessie Zahner. You can find me online at Athletic. And until next week, I'll buzz you later. See you guys.